Hey crafters, my name is Miss Dana and I'm from Arlington Heights Memorial Library. I'm here today with another edition of our at-home DIY crafting, and today we're going to be making felt heart bookmarks. This little pocket, slide in your last page that you left off on. So what you're going to need for our project today is a heart template that you'll cut out, 2 square pieces of felt, a needle, and thread, and scissors. So let's get started. First thing you're going to want to do is cut the paper out so that it's a tracer. Then, if you're really good, you don't even have to trace it. You can just hold it on there while you cut, and you're going to cut around the edge of the heart. And you're going to do that to the other one too. And a tip is that you're going to want to put it on the corner of the felt so that it lines up perfectly so that you have a very even point. All right, now that we have our 2 felt hearts, we can get rid of that stencil, the tracer, and we're going to stick our 2 hearts together back to back, like so. Next, this is the tricky part, so if you've never threaded a needle before, you might need some grown-up help. You're going to take the hole on your needle. You might need to lick the tip of the thread a little bit to make it nice and pointy. You're going to feed it right through the hole. Got it. Yes. And then you're going to take the length of your thread and fold it in half. Then you're going to cut it so it's about maybe 1.5 feet long. That should be enough. And then you're going to cut it at the end. You're going to want to make a nice thick knot. So the way that I do it is I kind of fold it over and pull through. It's hard to see. So there's a little tail on the knot. So that makes it even harder to slip through the felt. So there's my knot. Okay, now you're gonna start your sewing. You're gonna take your 2 pieces that are stuck together, and you're gonna find the end of it, the end of the straight part of the heart, which is at the top of the side. You're gonna start on that side, and you're gonna go in through the inside layer and stick your needle through so that it's only coming through the top heart. That way the knot gets stuck on the inside and it won't show as much. Then you're gonna do a running stitch, which is when you take your needle and thread and you just go up, down, up, down. You're not going around the outside, although if you do that, that's okay too. This is just the stitch that I'm teaching you. So you're gonna go down through both layers and then up through both layers, about a couple millimeters apart. And if it gets snagged like that, just pull it back out and loosely jiggle it through so it's even, okay? So you're gonna keep doing that from one end of the straight edge to the tip and then all the way down to the other straight edge of the heart. You'll do that, and then I'll show you how to tie it off. This is a good beginner sewing project that if you've never sewn anything before, this is a great starter project because there's not too much to it. Of course, this needle is quite sharp, so you have to be extra careful not to poke yourself, but it'll be worth it in the end. So see, I'm already moving on to my second side. So I have the first side done. And of course, I'm doing it very quickly, so it's not quite even. But if you would like to take your time, you can make it very evenly spaced out. The more you sew, the quicker it becomes. You can almost do it with your eyes closed, but I wouldn't recommend that. Sometimes it'll get snagged on the side. Just make sure that you don't keep going. Straighten it out first. All right, so we are almost done with this side. And I'd say that's pretty good, pretty far. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tie off a knot on the end here. And I like to hide my knots, so what I'm gonna do is stick my needle through just one of the layers so that the thread ends up on the inside. And then I'm gonna tie a little knot off on the inside by sticking it through the thread as I pull it through. So that makes a nice knot so that it doesn't slip out. Then I'm gonna cut the string, the extra thread off. And there I have my heart. If you have any jewels, or if you have puffy paint or something flat that you want to sew on here, or if you know how to embroider, you could embroider a heart on the outside like I did on this one. You could do your initials, you could write I heart books if you're into that kind of thing, or you can just leave it like that. And it's going to be a great way to mark the page that you leave off on whatever book you're reading. So you're gonna open up the corner of it, slide it in like it's a pocket, and there it stays on the page, and you just close it on up, and there you go. And this is one of my favorite books to look at when I'm looking for crafts to do. It's called Lazy Crafternoon by Stella Fields, and it's right here at the Arlington Heights Library if you ever want to come in and check it out. Thank you all for joining me today. Happy crafting!